Welcome, everyone. We are live, and it is Monday, Monday. It really is a glorious Monday. Now, it is cloudy, -4, I believe it is. 2 days remaining, right? Um, but this morning, we spoke on Friday about pruning, right? Pruning the bush. But what are we doing when we prune? I mentioned it before, but it begs more depth. And there you have it, more depth, my friends, more depth. When you prune, you redirect the energy to what is alive, to what you want to remain alive. So when I say perspective, that is the perspective of pruning. We think pruning is cutting away the dead things, when in actuality, pruning is redirecting life. If you look at it that way, then it makes it easier for us to turn our attention towards the things that, whatever is good, whatever is true, whatever is honest, whatever is a good report. Think on these things. That is what will help us. Because when we think about pruning, we look at the tree and we go, oh my God, there's so many branches, so many things to cut away, which can be overwhelming. But if you look at it like, ooh, I'm redirecting life over here. I'm redirecting life over there. I'm redirecting life right here. I'm redirecting life down there. I'm redirecting life. It is far easier, from my perspective, to redirect life because think about it. There's a scripture that says, let the dead bury the dead, right? And we think that means like corpses bury corpses. No, corpses can't bury corpses because they're dead. But what it means is give your attention to what is life. When you hear the scripture, let the dead bury the dead, it means to put your attention on what is life. Whatever is true, whatever is honest, whatever is of good report. Those are the things that we want more of. So when you want more of something, that's where you put your attention. Why would you put your attention there? Well, hello, Big Mike. And look, there's someone I just know that you said hi to me, but I cannot read your language other than hi. So I can't say your name, but it's hello. So when we want to prune something, instead of looking at what is dead, look at the life you are preserving. Look at the life you are giving. Look at the life you are redirecting. Because in actuality, that's what you're doing. You're not cutting away dead things. You're preserving the life of the plant. Big picture. You are preserving the life of the plant. It is easier, in my perspective, when you look at the plant that you have to prune. Sometimes it can seem overwhelming, like raspberry bushes. Oh, they're just sticks anyway, aren't they? How do you know which ones are dead? How do you know? You observe the raspberry bush. Observe it. And you'll begin to see where the life is in that raspberry bush. And where the life is what you want to preserve. So that means you will see the stark contrast between where the life is not and where the life is. So that when you, Apple Soldier 3, when you snip away that little portion is no longer giving life. So when we prune, what we are doing is preserving life, not cutting away dead things. Because you don't want to put your attention on that. You put your focus and your attention, because is that not what you're doing when you prune? You're not cutting away dead things. Yes and no. Where you put the focus, it is easier to spot the life on the bush than it is to, especially raspberry bushes. They just look like sticks in the spring. But if you observe them, you will see exactly where the life is. And so when you see where the life is, what do you think you do? You preserve it by doing what? Redirecting all of the energy to it. I am the vine and you are the branches. There's no life apart from the vine. So all the things that are no longer connected to life, they will be very obvious. So don't you be growling at me, stomach. So how do you apply that to your life? How do you apply that to your life experiences? How do you apply that to family? How do you apply that to friends? How do you apply it to work? Easy. Here's how we do it. When we have an experience, the experience can either leave us feeling, oh, or it can leave us feeling, yay. What are you going to do with those two feelings? Because we would think that we would think that that feeling, that experience wouldn't be helpful to us. We would think that because, oh, but it brings pain, Angela. It doesn't feel good to me. Ah, but to comprehend the experience, the moment you comprehend the experience, for instance, if someone says something to you that hurt your feelings, if someone said something to you that cut you to the quick, ooh, hello. If someone does that, if you can grasp that we only speak from our hearts, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So what came out of their mouth? Was it hurtful? Well, then there's pain in their heart. It has nothing to do with you at all. It's just what came out of their heart. And the way it made you feel is an indicator of what they feel. It's not telling you anything about you, it's telling you what they feel. But you see where we get caught up? Here's the pruning part. We get caught up because, oh my God, you just hurt my feelings. You just insulted me. No, 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 no. They're only telling you how they feel. So you have now two choices. When you recognize how they feel, you can catch it and say, "Oh snap, that's not about me, is it?" They are really in pain. And you can say, "Look, I'm sorry that you hurt." You don't have to say it out loud to them if you don't want to. "I'm sorry that you hurt." And keep moving. Because what that does, that prunes away the pain that you just felt. Because you recognize it's not you. Look for where the life is. So the comprehension is life. To understand what is coming out of someone's mouth is what is buried deep in their hearts. Oh, but Angela, isn't the heart an organ? Yes, your heart is an organ. So obviously, we're not talking about the heart, ba-bum, ba-bum. We're not talking about that. So out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks, means out of the abundance of your awareness of yourself is where you speak from. So if you are aware of yourself as not being good enough, not being accepted, well loved, well cared for, that is how you're going to speak in the world. That's how you will show up in the world. That's how you will act in the world. And that is how people will respond to you. So when you're looking at these situations, when you're looking at these interactions, where's the life in it? The life in it is the understanding, the comprehension that people can only tell you who they are and what they are. Comprehend that portion so that once you comprehend it, what would have caused you pain cannot hurt you now. Because it's not you. It's not you. There's no fault in you. There's no fault in them either. They, how can there be fault in you when you are only being what you are? You see, we are so quick to judge. Oh my God, you have problems. We're so quick to judge. But in actuality, if we would comprehend, if we would understand what was happening, we would recognize right away that, oh, that right there is not life for me. And you cut it off, meaning you don't take it on as yours. You go out there and you see all this marketing all over the place. Buy this, buy two, get one free. Do this, do that. And you look at it and you go, wait, what is he trying to get me to do? Even right now, as I sit here in my kitchen, hopeful that if I peek out the blinds, I'll see stars. But no, it's a cloudy morning. No stars in the sky for me to see. But as I sit here, I want you to do something as well. I want you to always examine yourself so that you can always turn your attention towards life. Oh, but Angela, have you seen the state of the world? Listen, as within, so without. The state of the world is a reflection of the what? People in it. So if everybody is walking around with hurt, what do you think the world will look like? Oh, hello. If the world is filled with rage, what is everybody walking around with? So when you check yourself, you better make sure you're not contributing to the rage. Oh, but Angela, what difference does it make if I change my rage? There's still 8 billion people on the planet. All it takes is one. Be that one. You know that saying, be the change you want to see in the world? Was that Mahatma Gandhi? Allegedly. Be the change you want to see in the world? You are this little tiny pebble, you and I. Not tiny as in size, but tiny as in changing our perspective. So, the moment you change your perspective with comprehension to understand that collectively we are the ones projecting whatever we see into the world. We will talk about why, but we'll get to that another day. But if you can catch yourself and you say, wait, what am I putting out into the world? Do you know that once you change what you are putting out into the world, do you know what happens? It rubs off on somebody else very subtly. And what does it do to them? It encourages them to check, and you didn't have to say a word to them. It encourages them to do what you are doing. Listen, the same way it takes one person in a crowd to create a mob mentality and have the whole crowd go crazy, it only took one. You think I'm just pulling this out of the ether? Well, yes, but better the ether than my butt. Anyhow, if it only takes one person in a crowd to stir shit up and create havoc, what can one person do in the opposite direction? That's the point we're missing right there. And we think because we're just one person, we can't do anything. Oh, please. That one nutmeg in the group who's changing everybody's mentality, and they start, no love, no power, or whatever you were screaming out there, and then everybody picks it up. But you do the same thing in the other direction, and you will inspire other people. And what will that inspiration do? Change the hearts and minds of many a person around you. So when you do that, you see what you've pruned? That's right. You cut away all the things that don't bring you life by doing what? Turning your attention towards the things that do bring life. And people always say, well, words matter. Listen, you could be mute. meaning you can't get any words to come out. So how are words powerful if you can't open your mouth to voice them? So it tells you something. It is not the words that have the power, but it is the life that you infuse into the words. Always remember this, that where man is not, life is barren. William Blake. Those aren't my words, those are his words. Where man is not, well, life is barren. So that tells you man brings life. So it is man that gives life to the words that they speak. You can say any kind of word you want. What did you infuse it with? Words on the page matter not until someone infuses them with life. So if you can infuse words with life, what else can you infuse with life? Now, scripture would tell you life and death is in the power of the tongue. The power of the tongue is to move. The power is in the tongue for movement. But in which direction do you give it power to move in? Lifeward or not? So now you grasp what scripture is telling you, that life and death is in the power of the tongue. The tongue has no power unless you move it. And it is your what? Awareness that moves the tongue. Whatever you are aware of being is how the tongue will move. So if you're in a bad mood, you're going to be talking about, get the, get out of my way. That's exactly what you'll be like. But if you are in a good mood, oh, hey girl, how you doing? Well, you looking great. My friend, that beard be popping. See what I'm saying? The mood is what moves the tongue. Mood. Sometimes we want to say intention. But you see, intention is a little bit challenging to grasp. But when I tell you mood, you understand. Because mood, we are all familiar with mood. The mood is what makes you act. Does it not? Brings to memory that Elton John song. Uh, Rolling like thunder. That one. How does it go again? You know, I guess that's why they call it the blues. It's his mood. When you are in a good mood, what kind of music do you listen to? When you're in a not so good mood, what type of music do you listen to? So it's the same principle that applies. The mood is what governs the tongue. The tongue. So the mood is what is giving life to the words that you speak, which means it is your mood that will determine how you prune, where you redirect yourself. Turn your mood always towards life. Life does not just mean, you're living, you're working. No, that's just a small portion of life. It is not all of life. It is only a very tiny portion of life. But a lot of us make our decisions from that little teeny, teeny, tiny place of life. When in actuality, you get the big picture and now you say, oh my goodness, life is vast, is it not? Yes. So anywho, I don't want to keep you this morning, but I do want to remind you that when you are pruning something, you are redirecting life. That is what you do when you prune. Or else, how would you just know which twigs to cut off? You look for where the life is, and where life is not, you cut that part off. Why? Because then the life that is there goes towards. It's like when you're pruning tomatoes. Where the blossoms are not, with the little stems and the leaves, where there are no blossoms, there's no tomatoes, there's no life there. It's just green. See a snippet. And you will begin to notice that the blossoms get a little bit bigger and then it begins to flower, meaning that little tomato comes out. And by the time you're done, you don't want to do it too much. Do it a little bit at a time. There's a balance. But when you finish doing it and you support your tomato, you begin to see how much bigger they become. Why? Because all of the energy, all of the life is going to them instead of just leaves. So yeah, but the leaves look like part of the tomato vine, doesn't it? Don't we want green foliage there, Angela? Isn't the green foliage life? All things that look like life are not always life. Because in this case, when they're just that green stalk with no blossom, and you've got the blossoms and little tomatoes over there, you have two choices to make. How big do you want your tomatoes, or how pretty do you want your plant? Now you begin to understand the choice that you make. You snip away the green that doesn't have the blossoms or the tomatoes. You just snip it away. And what have you done? Redirected all the life towards the tomato. You are exactly the same thing. There's certain things that look great. There's certain habits that we have developed over time that look phenomenal, but they do not add life to you. They are part of your life, but they don't make it better. They don't make it bigger and more beautiful and plump. Ow. But if you turn your attention towards what makes your life bigger, better, more beautiful and plump and juicy, ow, you turn your attention there. You see that part that you turned your attention away from? It withers and it dies without any effort. You don't have to force it. This is how you use the principle of correspondence, as above, so below. The tomato plant is you. The apple tree is you. The raspberry bush is you. And how plump and juicy do you want those raspberries? Oh, yeah. But there's a fine line, and that fine line comes with observation. You cut away too much. Where does life go? Oh, clearly, there's a lot of life over there in the corner. Well, hey, handsome. Listen, that's my cue. He keeps saying, I'm gonna keep you on track. So today, my beautiful friends, observe your life. Turn your attention towards the things. It is far easier to be in a good mood. A good mood does not mean you're walking down the street like Gene Kelly talking about, I'm singing in the rain, just singing in the rain. That's just not what it means. It doesn't just mean that. It means that you are anchored to something. You are anchored to the knowledge that, wait a minute, I don't have to struggle. I don't have to suffer. You are anchored to that. And knowing that is what will sustain you. Because then when you come up against the situation, you don't crumble in the corner. You say, wait a minute, let me look at this situation through the principles. I'm up against it right now. What do I want? I know exactly what I want. And I'm going to rehearse in my mind's eye what I want to become. Oh, and I like the way it makes me feel. The way you make me feel, right? So when you realize the way that thinking about this thing makes you feel and makes you want to rejoice. Rejoice in the Lord always. Say it again, rejoice. It's scripture to rejoice. When it makes you want to do that, as opposed to, oh, you have to pay attention to the two feelings. And when you recognize that it makes you rejoice to know that this is the image of who I am becoming, and as long as I have that image and I felt it, I just became it. And so what do? Persist in the feeling. You bask in the glow of the feeling. 1, 2, and 3. Know what you want. 2, feel it. Know it to be true. And three, oh, bask in it. Rejoice in that, in the knowing that you just changed your life. Oh, but Angela, outside still looks the same. What's that got to do with it? Didn't Tina Turner say that? What's love got to do with it? Didn't she say that? What does the outside have to do with anything? Why? You know one thing. The outside will always conform to what the inside is. You see where your peace comes from now? See where your peace of mind comes from? That the outside can only take the shape of the inside. So you better get the inside right. Upside down. Boy, you turn me. You better get the inside right. So you hold fast to the truth of the interior, the image, and the exterior will mold and shape itself. The same way that seed busts out, the same way that bamboo burrows down for 4 years, and you don't know how it's doing it. You don't know why it's doing it, but you will understand why bamboo burrows down for 4 years. There's nothing more flexible. How do you think it got the flexibility? Because it is securely anchored. It can move in whatever direction it's required to move in. And it'll bend a hell of a lot easier than before it breaks. So this is why it burrows down. So when you begin to see how things unfold, you begin to understand why. Because at the beginning, it doesn't make any sense. But when you see how life unfolds, then you understand why you prune. Double A, welcome. A not. I haven't seen you in forever. Forever, ever, forever, ever. Yes, I haven't seen you. Hey, Frosted. That might be my windows outside, but I see you. And Apple Soldier 3 and my non-English speaking friend. Hi. Twitter is as Twitter does. A fan base, Burnt, Skillet, Amelie, Casey, Oracle Treehouse. Hello. Big Mike. So, today, my beautiful friends, let me end here. Whenever you are dealing with a situation in life, do not act rash. Take your time. But Angela, rent is due. What I say? You think I don't have to figure out rent? You think I don't? Yeah, but what good is pacing gonna do? Center the self. You sit and you inhale and you exhale. And you turn your attention towards the life, which means what? My rent is paid. But Angela, I don't believe that. I don't believe it. I'm not asking you to believe it. I'm asking you to know that as long as you hold the mood of just got paid, Friday night, yeah, money in my pocket, sure feels right, right. You hold on to the mood of that. When rent shows up, you'll be sitting there with your mouth open talking about, oh my God, what a coincidence. How did this happen? Because you made it happen without effort, without forcing it, without, freak out. You didn't have to freak out. That's what I'm trying to tell you. All situations have the same solution. Know what you want. Rehearse in imagination how you would rehearse if you saw that it was true. And then do what? Bask in the feeling of knowing that it is true, that you just felt in step 2. It is always going to be the same solution. But how does the problem know? Because all problems have the same solution. You are the solution. Know what you want. Rehearse in imagination what you would experience in reality. And then as you feel it, continue to feel it because you know as within, so without. As within, so without. All day, every night. Say it again with me. As within, so without. Oh, as within, so without. So when you feel it within, you listen, you know how that gas feels under the ribs sometimes. As within, so without. Hello. It works in all areas of your life, as within, so without. So, I love you. Let us get the chime, and you may get chime and chicken today. but probably just chime because he might be taking a little rest. Daytime chime it is. Oh, wait, no, let's go with, you know what? I said daytime. Let's use daytime. And as you hear the chime this morning, my beautiful friends, know what you want. Don't judge it. Just know what you want. Know what you want. Start there. And when you know what you want, know what you are. Oh, what are you? I am. So when you pray like that. I am. Huh? Oh, how else did you think you prayed? Please, please, sir, may I have some more? That is not how one prays. I am dot dot dot. Well, how do you think you pray now? When you're in a mood, how do you think you pray? You say, I am. And you feel that with every fiber of your being. And then what happens? You become. So you think it works forwards but not backwards? Hello. Cause and effect. Every cause has its effect, and every effect its cause. And you can reverse it. You can use the effect to bring about the cause, and you can use the cause to bring about the effect. But remember, you are the cause. Mm. Chime in. Countdown initiated. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Much love, my beautiful friends. And you know, tonight I'll see you. I think we are on chapter 10 of The Power of Awareness by Neville Goddard. So if you want to fall asleep with us, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we will be right here. I won't be on Twitch. I'll stream to Twitter instead. No, TikTok. What are all these T words? I digress. But that's where I'll be. YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, fan base, Twitter. That's where I'll do it. I did Twitch this morning. I'll do TikTok tonight. Maybe I should have done it the other way around. Who knows? We won't know. I still don't even know what it looks like on TikTok. I don't know, but we'll see. But that's where we'll be tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time if you want to fall asleep with us. Rockabye, baby. Anyhow, I digress. Uh, Twitter is as Twitter is. And love you, Twitter. Mm. YouTube Facebook and Twitch.